by this video, we will for sure find out if this car starts or not. Like I said, at this point, this is a science experiment because this car has been sitting forever and it looks pretty rusty inside. And I'm taking a chance with this. Like I said, it does spin freely, but it's obviously, you can tell from the last video when I showed you guys that. But I believe I do have almost everything to at least kind of get this thing to crank and see if it is going to run. The only thing I need is the battery and then the intake pipe. I do want to say we are now down another negative $200 because I needed a fuel rail. I got a fuel rail. Some of the caps are missing, but it should be good enough for a start to like crank the car at least. It came with a regulator too, so that's a big plus. Just got to bolt it in. Good to go. I needed a mass airflow sensor. I ended up getting 4 of them. He gave me 4 of them. One of them was a little janky. Oh, this one. So I'm not sure what's going on with this one, but I do have 4 of them. These things as well. He gave me 2 of these as well. I got 2 alternators for free, and then he gave me a starter, all for $200. Main reason I went over there was for the mass airflow sensor, 1 mass airflow sensor and 1 fuel rail. And then he's like, you know what, you can take all this shit with you. Oh, and a trans bell housing for a manual KA. So yeah, the only thing I would need is the piping from here to there, and then that's about it. Everything else I'm gonna put back together right now. Hope for the best. Fan, I'll deal with that if it starts. I just need to run a line from there to there to a cooler to the transmission. I mean to the fucking, from the transmission to the radiator. I'm gonna put this shit in, put the rail in, and we should be good to go. Got the distributor from my stash, and I'll get a battery. Probably go to Walmart, cheap ones. But now we're down 200, another minus 200, so total as of now we are like negative 1560, something like that. I'll do the math, but yeah, negative 1560 for now. Trying to sell some of these parts, so we might be up a little bit, but I mean, main thing is if this thing starts, then it will continue progressing. If it does, motor is kind of fucked, or it's like completely fucked, then it's gonna probably be on the back burner, or at least long-term kind of project. But yeah, so I'm gonna put this back together, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna put the radiator back in, hoses back on, get down there, put the hose for the transmission. The only thing that might be a little nice to show you guys was on, now I've never had any issue with this. Where's the fucking flashlight at? Oh yeah, RX-7 back from paint. I'll show you guys that on the weekend maybe. think I'm gonna have to get this thing out of the way though. Gas already smells like shit. Crazy, the last one last one stripped out. Damn, dude, what the fuck? Okay, well, there's gas in it, along with a bunch of insulation. Hell yeah, no rust. Perfect. Just some shitty gas. Right, well, we'll try to make this run. Might not run, but at least I'm gonna put this back in here so I don't get any dirt and shit in there. Alright, so I just came back from Ace. I feel like I got everything here to assemble this shit. So I'm gonna drill 2 holes, positive, negative. They're gonna go through here. I need to have enough room to put I might put one here and then one there. That way they're not close to each other and there's nothing to hit around them. It's gonna come up through here, bolt through here. One of these on a positive, same on a negative. Grommet through the middle, keep it from touching the metal because otherwise you'll pop fuses. Washer, metal washer, like that. Same on the other side but backwards, and there'll be one of these on the other side. And then once I build it, you guys will see what I'm talking about. I will need to solder these ones. and then we should be Gucci. Alright, so tool holder made. Now, I already cut off the original positive and negative, all this shit. This is gonna be what's gonna stay there. I'm extending the connector for this, so now I'm gonna plug that back in. Actually, first thing first, I'm gonna need to keep drilling to these grommets fit in through there. And then, like I said, it'll make sense eventually for the newbies. Everyone else that's been doing this shit for a while, you guys already know what I'm doing. And then the bolt's gonna go through here, like that, and then bolt going from the bottom, so then this sticks out from the top. And then we have both, one for positive, one for negative. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and I'll show you guys when I'm done. I do need to wash it, but I'll spray it off with some brake cleaner when I'm done. Alright, so I'm gonna came outside so I can show you guys the final result. So it's gonna be kind of hard. I don't want to put it on the ground because I don't want to get it dirty, and the bench is kind of dirty right now. So basically, stainless steel bolt, extend the wires, power and ground. One pole is going to be power, one pole is going to be ground, obviously. Drill it, the rubber grommet, so the stainless steel bolt does not touch the metal casing because it will pop a fuse. The aluminum or the nylon washer, you might have to trim it. I'm going to take it back apart and trim this little section over here because I just noticed it's a little not fitting in there properly. And then washers, remember, make sure the washers also don't touch anything metal, so play around with the washer sizes and bolt through it. The outlet for it comes on this side, also a nylon washer, metal washer, then the rod comes out through it, and then you tighten the top nut or the bottom nut, I guess, whichever way you're looking at it, so it doesn't spin. Make sure it's tight. And I use the other one just to kind of lock it in place. That way you don't want this thing to get loose. And from the other end, you're gonna put the outlet right here. So the ones that were going into it, these ones, I'm gonna cut them, put an outlet, and put them on here, and then they'll each have their own one. And then I marked the black ones the ground, and the other ones obviously power. So I'm gonna clean it up, trim it up a little bit more so it fits a little better in there. Make sure everything's tight. And yeah, I'm not responsible if you blur shit up. And these washers are actually touching, so I'm actually gonna get a smaller washer on one side before we go back together. Alright, so I finished putting them back together. And by the way, I am gonna make a note for people that are going to daily drive their cars to not do the post right there, because then you can't put that lid on it, and I'm sure the gas smell will get in there. This is going to be a permanent top down, so I'm not worried about the gas smells, honestly. But I figured, I didn't realize it until now, honestly. I was like, how the fuck is that lid it's not gonna clear? I can probably cut it up, which I'm probably gonna do, but just figured that you guys know, for people that actually want to not have the smell of gas in their car, do not put the terminals right there. Put them. See, I did want to cut these up, but I did want to be able to at least have my fuel gauge. And I'm not sure, like, I didn't want to risk fucking these other ones up, because they were going to go right there originally, these. But I'm like, I don't really want to. I feel like they're brittle, I'm going to fuck them up. But either way, I'm not too worried about it, but just an FYI for everybody else that it would matter to them or whatever. But yeah, so the terminals are in. It's white and purple is power, and then blue and red is ground on the S13. So now I'll put the eyelets on. Now we just gotta put them on and test this shit out. Power. Make sure it's fucking tight, dude. Now, you guys should be able to see this pump go now. Alright, so I think you guys saw that it does work now. Alright, so I don't know what the hell's going on with the switch. I'm pretty sure I'm getting like a bunch of weird readings coming off the switch for the key. And I have battery powered straight to the battery power on the starter, but no signal wire basically. And it looks like they tried to switch up the ignition switch at one point and they kind of ghetto rigged it with, I'm not sure if it's even the right one. It looks like an S13 one, but basically when I got the car, it did have a jumper wire from the starter to the inside, ghetto rigged to a different wire, and I'm assuming that's how they got it to start or attempted to start. So right now I did the same thing just for, oh, I kind of started working on it just because I wanted to make some fast progress. I timed the distributor. I had 3 old spark plug wires laying around from my old 240. I ended up using some aftermarket one for the second one. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but I'm willing to try it out. All the ones are OEM ones that I just swapped out when I put the new. I don't know where the fuck I left them because I remember I saved them all, but anyway, it's gone. Fuel rails, lines to the fuel rail are back in. The gas, actually I don't know what happened, but after we fixed the wiring back there, I don't have to jump that relay anymore. So I'm assuming partially that was it. But yeah, gas made it all the way back here, so that should be routed properly because regulator's on the return side. I sealed that thermostat housing with no thermostat just so I can make sure it's not going to overheat or anything funny. I need to get spark plugs, need to get oil filter, need to find a MAF. Actually, it should start without the MAF, I'm assuming. But need a battery. Might go buy a charger right now. Alright, so I did grab the battery out of my sister's Miata. Just so I wanted to see if it would crank, and it does actually crank a lot better. Wouldn't you think that? Better battery. Anyways, as it was cranking, I don't have spark plugs in, so it started blasting gas out of the cylinder 4. And then I took the rail off, turned the key on, and cylinder 4 was just soaking gas coming out. And this is the one I pulled out of it. This is probably why. But anyways, I have a stash of these, so I'm gonna keep trying them all. If I find one that's gonna be good. Like I said, if this motor runs, I'm gonna obviously make it run better and perfect. But this one obviously got jammed up. I just kind of threw the rail in there just for the sake of throwing it in there. But I'm gonna swap this one out real quick and then test it again, see what happens. Alright, so the fuel rail got situated. Ended up just grabbing another one that had all the caps on it, and this one doesn't leak. Just hold the injector more even, so other one just keep for spare parts. Got the intake with the mass airflow sensor. So that was actually better because then I don't have to loop the lines like I showed you guys earlier. And we have a MAF now. Now all I gotta do is put the spark plugs in, put the wires on, and in theory we should be able to get something out of this. Maybe. Has oil in it already. I might need to push this thing out a little bit so I can jump start it, because this battery's pretty much dead right now. I'm gonna try to put my sister's Miata battery in here, see if it's gonna be enough, but so far I've needed to use both of these to just get it to turn over. And we need to figure out what's up with the starter and the key switch. I've been jumping it. This is running to the starter and I'm just kind of stabbing at it, so guess we'll see. So everything's fucking in right now. Fuel rolls in, spark plugs are in. Don't mind the random ass spark plug wire. I don't know, I couldn't find the fourth one. I know I had all of them, unless the second one was bad and I threw it away, so I don't fucking use it later. And I only kept the three good ones. But fuel rolls in, spark plugs are in, wires are in, distributor's plugged in now. Timing might be 180 off. Figure that out when it cranks. This should be the official first attempt at cranking this, seeing if it does anything. There is no coolant in it yet, but I'm not even sure what the fuck it's gonna do right now, honestly. So hopefully it doesn't blow up though, cause I don't know what's up with this motor. Besides, it's been sitting forever, but I guess you guys can witness my garage blowing up in flames. And we got fuel. Alright, another small update. I was doing a lot of diag off camera just to kind of speed the process up, but I have fuel. Triple checked it by now. I do have spark. I pulled the spark plug wire with a spark plug on it and just tested it like here, and it was sparking. I'm getting spark. I opened the throttle body, so I know I have air. I don't know if I have compression because I never tested it, and we were just kind of doing this shit for the fun. I doubt it's gonna run, but anyways, even if it had a low compression, it should still run, even if it runs like shit. But it should still run, or at least like turn over for a little bit at least. But I believe my timing marks are off. Honestly, I took the valve cover off just to kind of make sure it's not like completely fucked down here. But I'm pretty sure that dark colored one. So my cams are aligned properly, I believe. This one should be a little bit upwards because they normally match. They both point like outwards pretty evenly. But this one is like in between the links, and I am on the mark down there. I'm gonna double check this before I take this apart again, but I don't see. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, either this thing jumped or someone rebuilt this thing and then didn't time it right. It does look fairly clean down here for the most part, honestly. So I'm gonna double check all this stuff, but I just don't see any like residual of like old silicone or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just double check this timing, and I'm gonna rip it off if it is off. So took the top timing cover off, took the sprockets off. I triple checked it, every picture I saw. It's 6 links in between intake and exhaust cam, and 6 links between the exhaust cam and the crank one, or the idler sprocket. And I was like in that little half section, so it was off like a link. The only thing too is I don't know where the mark is for the bottom sprocket. There should be a dot for the idler one, and there isn't, which makes me believe it's aftermarket. So yeah, there's that too. But as long as I have 6 links in between, I should be Gucci. Alright, timing's in there. I have the timing cover just kind of placed on there. Valve cover is also just placed on it with 2 bolts. Distributors in there. This is just a test run. If it happens to start up, then I'm gonna take it apart and put it back together the right way, but I don't want to keep taking that plate off. But we should be good, honestly, but might need to start looking into something else. But that took a while. We got it. Alright, there you go. So you guys just literally saw it start up for the first time in who knows how long. There was no coolant in it, so I couldn't let it run for a long ass time, but at least we know it's solid now. It runs, at least starts up.